So today, we're diving into a topic that doesn't get nearly enough credit in the influencer world. How a pleasant personality can actually be one of the biggest drivers of growth and engagement.
Right. It's funny how often people obsess over algorithms, camera gear, or how many hashtags to use, when in reality, being genuinely likable can take you way further.
Totally. It's that old saying, people might forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Influencers who make their audiences feel seen, heard, and appreciated build deeper, lasting relationships.
And that's the magic, isn't it? It's not about being perfect or overly polished. It's more about being relatable and authentic. Think about someone like Emma Chamberlain. Her chaotic, honest style isn't exactly traditional, but people love her because she feels real.
Exactly. She comes across as your hilarious, awkward best friend, not someone preaching from a pedestal. That's a big part of why her following exploded.
And Mr. Beast is another great example. Sure, his stunts are wild, but underneath all that, he's just really nice. Like, his generosity feels sincere. You want to root for him because he comes across as a good human.
Which brings us to an interesting point. Do you think this pleasantness is something people are just born with, or can it be developed?
I think it can absolutely be developed. Like any skill, it's about habits. Being curious about others, showing gratitude, managing your energy. These things are learnable. It's like emotional fitness.
Emotional fitness, I like that. Just like you work out to stay physically strong, you have to train your mindset and emotional awareness to stay likable, especially under pressure.
Yeah, and that pressure is real. Influencers are constantly online, constantly judged. Keeping up a pleasant persona without feeling fake can be exhausting.
There's definitely a fine line between being authentic and trying too hard to please everyone. I think that's where burnout sneaks in.
For sure. That's why boundaries are so important. You can be kind without being a doormat. You can care about your audience without sacrificing your own mental health.
Speaking of mental health, I've seen more creators now openly talk about therapy, mindfulness, even taking digital detoxes. It's like a collective realization that you can't pour from an empty cup.
And that transparency actually adds to their likability. When someone shares their struggles in a thoughtful way, it invites empathy, not pity. It humanizes them.
That's such a good point. Vulnerability done right creates trust. And trust? That's influencer gold.
Absolutely. Because if people trust you, they'll not only stick around, they'll recommend you. And that kind of organic growth is way more powerful than any paid ad.
It's like, when you find a creator you love, you want your friends to follow them. That's the network effect, powered by personality.
So let's talk strategy. What are some practical ways creators can actively work on being more pleasant?
For starters, engaging with your community thoughtfully. Not just dropping emojis or thanks, but actually responding to comments in a way that shows you care.
Yes, also smile more, on camera and in writing. People can feel warmth even through a tweet, and be mindful of tone. Sarcasm doesn't always land the way you think.
Oh, and active listening is big. On live streams or in DMs, show that you're paying attention. Repeat what your followers say. Ask follow-up questions. It shows respect.
I'd also say, avoid drama. It might get you short-term clicks, but being consistently pleasant builds long-term trust.
That's why someone like Marques Brownlee stands out. He's not flashy, but people respect him. His calm, measured tone makes you feel like you're in safe hands.
Totally. You trust what he says because he's pleasant. He's the guy you'd want explaining tech to your grandma without making her feel dumb.
So here's a question. What if someone's just not naturally bubbly? Can a more reserved personality still succeed?
100%. Pleasant doesn't mean loud or extroverted. It just means being kind, approachable, and thoughtful. Even quiet influencers can radiate warmth.
And let's not forget the power of empathy. Showing your audience you actually care. That's what builds the bond.
That and consistency. Not just posting often, but showing up with the same respectful, positive energy. It sets a tone your audience comes to trust.
So to wrap up, being pleasant isn't just about manners. It's a strategic asset. It builds trust, deepens engagement, and fuels sustainable growth.
And in a world flooded with content, that emotional connection, it's what turns followers into fans, and fans into a community.
So maybe the real secret to influencer success isn't a growth hack. It's just being a genuinely likable human.
Simple, but not always easy. But worth it? Definitely.